Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weird, wonderful world. And it's been about maybe 2 weeks since we went through my heavy rotation box. Now, a few things have changed. There's maybe about 5 or 6 stuff that's still kind of in here, but I have pretty much since the last time, my last episode, about 2 weeks ago. I think that was episode 4. This will be episode 5, and I had ZZ Top in there. I've since listened to that. Now, this is not including the stuff that my friend Robert lent me to listen to. The other 6 CDs that I lent from him. That's separate. But I am listening to those. I have been going to it a little bit here and there. But I'm also, yeah, I also played some other stuff here and there. But that's neither here or there. But what's in here right now is basically stuff that's going to be in here probably between. Some stuff is going to be here for a week. Some stuff is going to probably be here for 2 weeks. And at the most, if somebody stays in here, it's only for 3 weeks. It has to get played before that 3 weeks is over. Like, that would be maximum. So right now, what's in my player, and I'll be playing it again tonight in the earphones. I have the Fu Manchu Clones of the Universe, and this has some great tracks in it. The first half of the album are those first 6 songs of Intelligent Warship, I've Been Hexed, Don't Panic, Slower Than Light, Nowhere Left to Hide, and Clone of the Universe. That's the first half. The rest of the album, about maybe 18 minutes long, is the El Monstro Atomico, which features Alex Lifeson from Rush. So that last song, that last 18 minute long song, yeah, that's all dedicated. It's really cool because you can totally hear the Alex Lifeson style in the arrangements of it. So I'm playing that. It's my only Fu Manchu album, my own. I wouldn't mind getting more. I enjoy this band, so it's a good band for me to get into. Now, what I have also in here is kind of a 2-for-1. So I'm counting them both as singles each. So, boom. I have a double set, and this is called Burning for Buddy. It's a tribute to the music of Buddy Rich, and it's 2 volumes, actually. The first volume, this one here is the first volume, and this was a 1994. Yeah, 1994 for this one. And this is the second volume, and this was 1997. So, and these are all compiled by Neil Peart. Just get my, where's my magnifying glass? Right there. So yeah, it's all produced by Neil Peart. Neil Peart produced both of these. He actually has an arrangement on here, but okay, for example, the musicians, it's more important not to necessarily what songs they play, but who is on the album. Now for the first one, they have Kenny Arnoff, Bill Bruford, Bill Cobham, Steve Ferrone, Steve Gadd, Omar Hakim, Manu Katché, and Mino Senelu, Joe Morello, Rod Morganson, Neil Peart, Simon Phillips, Max Roach, Ed Shaughnessy, Ed Shaughnessy, Marvin Smithy Smith, Steve Smith, Matt Sorum, and Dave Weckl. And on the second one, about the same. It's all the same, but just a few less. There's a couple that's on this one that's not on this one, but everybody that's on this one was on this one. So, yeah, it's just missing a couple of people, but it's pretty much almost all the same. Other names are on there. Yeah. So that's I'm kind of eager to get into that. It's jazz, so it's basically jazz. It's all dedicated to Buddy Rich. So I've listened to them only once. I remember liking them. It's not usually something I listen to, but I really want to give it its due justice. I think when I because I didn't buy these actually. Somebody actually gave them to me, and I appreciate them. And I played them once each, and I think I kind of skimmed over it. I didn't really pay too much attention. I remember liking it, but I didn't give it the full attention that it deserves. So that's what I want to be doing. I need to do that. Give it the attention it deserves. Now, number 4, what's in here? Because remember, what's always in my box is only 12. It's only a dozen. I don't add any more than 12 in my box at any time. So I got here some Peter Schilling, and yeah, it's called Verheerijn System, and it's and the entire album is in German, and this is of course you probably know him from his English song, Major Tom. Earth below us drifting, falling. That thing. Well, this is on there, okay? But it's the German version. When I first bought this, I don't know. I had an expectation that it had the English version of the song, but you think I'd be kind of disappointed that I didn't get the version I wanted, and I'm still trying to get that. I still need that. Whenever I can, if I can find this anywhere, yeah, that. So, but I am not disappointed. I actually like this. I've played this at least a good 4 or 5, probably half a dozen times already since I got it. So at least a good six times for sure, maybe more. And yeah, I'm due to listen to it again. It doesn't matter if it's all in German. It's the same thing with some Rammstein that I have. Eventually, I'm going to get back into listening to some of that. So yeah, I really love it. I don't care. It's German, but yeah, it's fantastic. I actually do like it. It gets better every time I listen to it. I do enjoy it. So what's still in here that I haven't taken out from last time is I still got the Yes Fragile. I still need to get to that. I still need to get to the Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. I still need to listen to all of that again, a little bit more objectively this time. I still really want to listen to this again, The Great Malenko by the Insane Clown Posse, because I don't know, this is my favorite one. It's their more hard rockin' one. The intro at the beginning has Alice Cooper in it, so it blesses it as cool. So that's why that's in there. I gotta get back into that. Back into that. That is still in there. I haven't had a chance to listen to that yet. But remember last time I had Amyl and the Sniffers in there. I had Starcrawler in there. I had something else, another female thing there, in there that I can't think of at the moment. But yeah. Oh, what was it? Alanis Morris? No. Oh, and the Fiona Apple. I had the Fiona Apple in there. Yeah. So that's still in there. I need to get to it. And of course, what's like the heavy rotation, the bottom 4, the ones that I will be playing multiple times and have already been playing multiple times. And of course, my newest purchase of the fantastic King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's Flying Microtonal Banana. I've played this already within just the last week since I got it. Yeah, about a half a dozen times, or Yeah. About wait, 7 times. 7 times I've played this, and I'm not exhausting it yet. As many times as I had that I've played that on YouTube. Okay, I played it several times on YouTube. I getting it and having it. Yeah, it's two different things. I'm just so I don't know why, but why this one here in particular was so so rewarding to actually have, and still when I look at it, it just fills me up with this joy that I can have this cool little thing that's like, hey, do you know about this album? And I can explain to them all the microtonal tonality of it and why it's important and all that good stuff. I love having this. It is such a great album. I play it so much, and I'm so glad to have that on CD form. And then there's this. Boom. King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard all again. I paper mache Dream Balloon. It's not a long album. It's only like 30 something minutes long, but I think it's fantastic. I love it. And I previously talked earlier about making that into a comic book, and try like taking like yeah, basically a three chapter comic book, 3 editions, taking the cutting all the track lists. There's 12 songs in all, cutting them into fours. Four of the first. Okay, I think that's where the separations would be. They get the first act, the second act, and the third act, and I think it works perfect. I kind of have certain images in my head of how to draw that and how to make that really cool. I need to figure out what NGRI stands for. There's not really a clue in the lyrics itself, not that I can detect. If anybody knows what the NGRI stands for that song, song number 8, Bloodstain, I would be grateful if anybody can lead me into that. What that stands for, because I like to know what that stands for. But yeah, I've been thinking about making a comic book and drawing it for you guys in real time in front of you. So I want to do that. It's just to kind of help me get it out of my comfort zone, and I want to do that in May. In May, I want to start that. I still want to continue what I'm doing right now with the Spider-Man. So expect that me to get on back on that on Thursday. Thursday, that's when I'm planning on jumping back on the drawing board and doing more on that Spider-Man picture for sure. I need to do it earlier in the afternoon. I kind of put it off to the last minute. Same with today. I kind of always put this off to the last minute, and I gotta get to it earlier. Anyway, yeah. So, but talking about this album and in particular of turning it into a comic book, and I had also thought about this, but it was also again suggested to me by one of my wonderful YouTube friend that you all know and love, Larry Graves. I know I'm name dropping him yet again, but yeah, he's such a great guy. And he said, "Well, maybe turn this into a comic book." He like, I, I would, I will, and I probably will. I think I want to turn that and that into comic books. I'm going to start with this, but I also do want to do that as a comic book too. I think it would be fun. I love this. I love this album. I think the imagery that the lyrics bring up is so vivid and so like, yeah. If I do this as a comic book, I mean, it's not gonna be made for kids, of course, because that very first chapter of At Home, At Work, At Play, to do it justice is gonna be just it'll be tasteful. It won't be dirty or anything, but it will be just a slight little bit salacious and not necessarily. There's not going to be anything bad or vulgar about it. It's just going to be a little bit subtle. But yeah, I do want to make a comic book on that. It'll be tasteful. It will be tasteful, but I do have to just push the limit a little bit on that. But those are in my heavy rotations because I will be listening to that again a couple of times, and of course the next couple of times I listen to that, it will be into thinking of how I'm going to make a comic book out of that. Yeah, but this album here, it just impresses me because when I first put it on and heard the style of what the music was, I was like, oh, I was just about to get disappointed, okay, when that first song started. But within seconds, like it very quickly, within seconds, washed over me, and I started like no, take that out of my mind. I'm just gonna listen to it objectively, not make any assumptions, and yeah, and then it's like no. By the time I was done the album, I was like, oh, I love it. It's just beautiful. It's just awesome. And yeah, and this is still one of my favorites. It is my favorite Sparks album, for sure. That's why it's back in here. And another one that I have not been able to stop listening to is just always, and this is the last one here in my box. It's Hello Young Lovers. I find this whole album just magical and yeah, it's cool. And again, it would make a delightful comic book too. I wouldn't have to put as much work into this for that comic book. It'd be yeah, I would have an idea how to do it for that. But I'm not gonna go too ahead of myself. If I'm not married 100% to the idea of making these into the comic books. I can still change my mind and turn anything else. If somebody throws me a better suggestion that when I hear it and like, oh, maybe. But remember, I prefer it to be in something I own in my collection. It has to be something I own. If it's an album you want me to turn into a comic book, but I don't actually have it, yeah, it makes this all that much harder for me to do. So that's just throwing that out there. Now, one last thing before I let you go, and I want you to give me some let me know down in the comment what you think. I'll be right back. I wanna get a couple of examples of things I might be talking about. Right? Okay. Now, when I want to know how many CDs I have, right? I like counting my CDs every once in a while, every few months, especially if I've gained quite a few new CDs. I haven't been keeping up with the count, right? And usually what I do to count my CDs, okay, is I have this little counter, this little clicker counter, and 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 I can count, right? So I don't have to keep it in my head. And then I just go around, and when I point, okay, and then when I point at a CD, I click. I point at a CD, I click. I click. I don't have to keep count. I can just, as soon as I touch the CD, I click, and then I touch the next one, and it just makes it so much easier to count your CDs. And instead of having to keep track of, well, where was I at? And it just makes it go right easy. Okay, but my question is, when I'm counting how many CDs I have, right, would you count this as one CD because it's an album, right, of Metallica and Justice for All. But this is, of course, that box set that has 3 separate CDs. Do I count this as, like this set here, when I look at that, right, do I count as just one? Or do I count that as three? 1, 2, 3. Because it is 3 CDs, but it's all representative of one album. Now I'm kind of leaning towards the side of considering it one rather than three. Okay. Now another example, which would be a rare case. Okay, because I know that on this little box that I have of Copper Blue and Beaster, right? Okay, that these two albums are separate albums. Copper Blue, Beaster here is like a half-hour EP, but it has some extra stuff on it, and then there's Copper Blue, and yeah, so basically, okay, the Copper Blue is actually considered the primary album, but it's actually but yeah, I used to own these as two separate CDs. I ordered that. I ordered them separately from Frank's Music, and this came in, and he showed me, well, what would this do? It's both Copper Blue plus Beaster all in one form. This I know for a fact that if I'm counting these as albums, I count this as two. 1, 2. Although this because it's a special, it has a third disc. Okay, live at Cabaret Metro. That is a special live little performance, and that's like a part of like a bonus. It's a bonus part of the box set. But still, I would have to count the Beaster and the Copper Blue as two separate albums, and instead of as just one. Unlike this, which when I look at this, because it'd be easier for me to boast that I have more albums than I have. But it wouldn't. I don't think it would be fair, and I don't think it would be actually truthful to count this as three when it's really only just one. So I lean on the side of saying it's just one. But that's me, and I just wanted to throw that out there. And when I'm counting, what would be exceptions to the rule? So because I'm due to count all my CDs again. Not today. I gotta get ready for work and stuff there soonish. So, I'm going to let you go right here. This is all I want to talk about today. It's always going to be talking about music mostly. That's what my channel is going to be mainly about. I would appreciate I'd be greatly appreciative if you would consider subscribing to my channel. Because I got something for everybody here. And, as always, please be safe. Take care. I will see you on the flip side. And please, everybody, have a great day, evening, night, wherever you may be. Peace, everybody.